Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis invites you to experience Unchi Said So, a powerful new exhibition by Danielle SeeWalker rooted in Native storytelling, collective identity, and community. Join us for the opening reception Friday, April 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. Through bold portraits and vibrant color, this work reflects generational knowledge, teachings passed down, and the significance of grandmothers in Native culture, reminding us that sovereignty begins at home. Plan your visit today at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first tickets for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. That's walkerart.org/cinema. See you at the movies.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 21, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 45. Get your exquisite, elegant box of French macarons from Nicolette's Macarons in Plymouth. Nicolette's is conveniently located off Highway 169 and 36th Avenue. Stop in at the store or order your box online at nicolettesmacarons.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
Good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, tonight we're going to welcome Danielle SeeWalker, and she's Lakļóta from the Standing Rock Sioux Nation, and we're also going to talk about her powerful All My Relations art exhibit, lifting up the Native voices and creativity and community. And then we'll be joined, we're joined with Wendy Pilot with our Sacred Animal updates, bringing us important teachings, connections, and stories that honor our relatives in the natural world. So I just want to get Danielle on and say a big hello and big Pinigigi. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for coming on Native Roots Radio.
Thanks for having me. Ampatuashte mitakuyapi, Danielle SeeWalker amachiapi, Húŋkpapļa Lakļóta na Ocheti Shakuini Mahata, Denver, Colorado, Awati. Hey everyone, it's Danielle SeeWalker here. I am Húŋkpapļa Lakļóta from the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, but I currently live, work, and play in Denver, Colorado. And I'm so excited to be able to show some of my artwork here in Minneapolis at All My Relations Arts.
Yeah, a big opening April 10th in All My Relations Arts at 1414 East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. And the exhibit will be open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And just stop in, get a cup of coffee at the powwow grounds, and come in and see your art. Your art, very inspiring. I really loved it. It wasn't totally put together today when I came by, but I really loved it and recognized some of the people that you painted. Talk a little bit about your art and where that comes from.
Yeah, I have been working on kind of a women's portrait series. There's some men sprinkled in there as well, as you saw today. But it's called the Braided Women series, and it was based on a dream I had of a woman who was following me in my dream, and I could tell she was from a different time, maybe an ancestor. She was wearing this full elk tooth dress, and but when I turned around and would ask her, like, why are you following me, or try to talk to her, it was she wouldn't speak to me. Her face was a blur except for one distinct eye. And so if you come in and check out this show, you'll notice there's a theme among many of the portraits where it's a very matted sort of two-dimensional flat face, but there's one very distinct eye that is painted, the realism part of the painting. And the eye kind of sets the mood, sets the tone of what's happening in the painting, the story that's being told, etc. So this particular show at All My Relations is called Húŋkpapě Said So, and it's kind of inspired by all the great elder women and grandmas and aunties in my life who told me what different stories and said so, I suppose. And so it's kind of a really fun sort of nostalgic show that's kind of based around that.
That's awesome. And it's starting April 10th, and then it runs. You have a good run, and I have it in front of me. It's going for a whole, at least a month.
Yeah, it'll be open through June 9th. It closes June 9th. So a couple months.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have the opening this Friday at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's always fun to go and check out the art. And also, Wendy, it's also really cool to meet the artists. And my wife here is an artist too, so that's awesome. And it's just great that we're talking about art today and other things other than what's happening politically. And so Danielle and Wendy, I really appreciate this opportunity to do so.
Yeah, Danielle, what kind of medium do you use? Acrylic, watercolor, oil?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's mostly acrylic, and I mix in and do a little aerosol as well. And oil stick is kind of the main mediums of these paintings that you'll see. And then I'm also a muralist. I'm hoping to do some little bit of street art while I'm here in Minneapolis as well with some friends.
Really nice. That's really fun and interesting. Do you use is your art on canvases or wood, or what kind of?
Yeah, for this show, the majority of them are on canvases. I have a couple hand drums that are on buffalo rawhide.
Nice.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I saw one of those that you hand painted. That must have took forever to do. It was they're little squares. Can you talk just a little bit about that? It's almost like a mini star blanket kind of design.
Yeah, it was inspired by a star quill.
Oh, you're frozen. I hope you come back. Uh-oh. Frozen. Okay.
Yeah. Well, again, it's at 1414 East Franklin Avenue, and that's All My Relations art. And the opening is going to be April 10th at All My Relations Arts. This is a project of Native American Community Development Institute, so we're really happy about that.
I'm excited to go and check it out. I love looking at other people's art, and when I look at other people's art, it inspires me to paint more, or to feel like inspired to paint and to do what I like to do too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her art.
Yeah. And she's from Colorado, Denver, but she's Lakota from Standing Rock. And that's awesome. One of the things too, I think is really important. I asked her about this too. So she's going to have prints there too, because let me tell you, the paintings, a lot of the paintings are as big as this wall.
Yeah.
And I really like
Wow.
when I see stuff like that, that
Mhm.
is that big. And it just amazed me when I sit there and of course the paintings will be for sale, and
Mhm.
they'll have cards and point and things like that.
Oh, she's back.
Hey, you're
Great.
back. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I guess my internet shut off on my computer. I'm out of a hotel room right now, so I guess the Wi-Fi here maybe isn't the best, but I'm on my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. We're just
I hope
saying that
that's okay.
no, we're good. And that's thank goodness that I have Wendy here to bounce off what about this, because I'd be saying a lot.
I'm so sorry.
We're just no problem. We were just talking about that you're going to have cards and prints too, and all this art's going to be for sale.
Yeah. A couple of the pieces I think are already spoken for, which is cool. But yeah, I'll have some prints available as well. And of course, on my website, if there's something you don't see in person, I have things available on my website as well, which is SeeWalker.com. My last name, SeeWalker.com.
Well, it's amazing too. I was looking at your website, and you bead also. You do all kinds of different kinds of art. So again, say your website again, because there's beautiful art on there, not just what we're going to be seeing in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's SeeWalker, S as in Sam, Walker.com. That's my last name, Danielle SeeWalker. And so yeah, my website has a lot of different kind of samplings of the different types of artwork I have done in the past, things I'm doing, working on, from beadwork to quill work to a lot of murals, etc. So yeah, I would encourage anyone to check it out. And also my Instagram, which has pretty much a lot of, a lot more of my artwork on there. It's kind of the main place where I post a lot of what's going on, is SeeWalker_art.
Well, we're going to take a break here in a minute, and Danielle, can you stick with us? We want to talk a little bit more about your art and a lot about this upcoming event. And so we get really excited, and I'm glad Wendy can come on with me, because she's our family artist here. Well, I guess our daughters are artists too. I'm the one with the stick men, or stick people. I don't know. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We're going to be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Local artist Rosie Simas, Seneca Nation of Indians, Huron Clan, embodies Onondaga philosophies of peacemaking and relationality in new immersive installation. Visit Agejagwa Desnigowaweni. I hope it'll stir your mind and explore a space built for communal rest and contemplation. Simas presents a performance of the same name this May. Learn more about the exhibition and performance at walkerart.org. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis invites you to experience Húŋkpapја Said So, a powerful new exhibition by Danielle SeeWalker rooted in Native storytelling, collective identity, and community. Join us for the opening reception Friday, April 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. Through bold portraits and vibrant color, this work reflects generational knowledge, teachings passed down, and the significance of grandmothers in Native culture, reminding us that sovereignty begins at home. Plan your visit today at allmyrelationsarts.org.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are here with Danielle SeeWalker and Wendy Pilot, and we're talking art, and I think that's really a good segue to be able to do, especially what's going on nationally. And we know we break out in hives and we talk a lot of politics, but we do that here, and it's a great break to have Danielle here and talk about the upcoming event at All My Relations Art. So it's really excited. Thank you again, Danielle, for being on. It's always really cool. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, and this is kind of like a weird question, but how long have you been doing art? And I guess you've always been an artist, like you've always been a Lakota Dakota,
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, that's a great question. One question I get asked a lot. I've been creating, since forever, since I can ever remember. I've always been a very creative kid. My dad was the very first artist I ever knew existed. And I still carry and keep many of his pieces up and surrounding me. I have always created, like I mentioned, but I haven't publicly started showing my artwork until 2020. And that's when I did a lot of very first. I wrote my first book. I created my very first mural, and I started putting my work into exhibitions and having shows. And that was all in 6 years ago.
So you did answer Wendy's question about what kind of format you do use. What kind of paints do you use?
Yeah, acrylic mostly. Yep.
Yeah. So I know, like, for me, like, I'll paint a lot and have a lot of paintings, like in my art room. I have a lot of stuff hanging up. Do you have a particular piece that's in your show right now that like resonates with you more than others, or you have a, like a feeling like I can't sell that piece kind of feeling?
Yeah, I feel like all my pieces are like that. They're sort of an extension of me. I have always created art it's sort of my diary in ways that where I can't express things in words or in any other way. The way I can express how I'm feeling, thinking, an experience I had, a story I was told is always through my artwork. And so I think a lot of my work is very much storytelling. There's one piece that's in the show that it's pretty special to me is it's called Indians Can Be Gingers. We call them Jindians. And it's because, sorry?
Oh, I just chuckled. I like the name.
Oh, and it's because I have a son who was born a ginger. And I remember when he was born, I remember thinking like, is this my child? Like, what the heck? But no, and he's a spitting image of me. He just has this great fiery red hair. And it was always told by my grandma that his grandpa had red hair, so it kind of came out in the genes. But he, as a kid, as a young boy, would always question his identity and be like, I'm not Indian, because he'd look around at all his cousins, he has brother, and he would be like, I don't look like any of them. And so I always had to teach him, about genetics and DNA and all that stuff. But I always would just call him my Jindian, my ginger Indian.
Oh,
that's so cute. I had blonde hair, like white blonde hair, until I was 7. But we don't talk about that much on the radio. But I did. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's, good conversations to have. And I think it's very relatable to a lot of folks. There's a woman actually interested in acquiring that piece, because she struggled as a girl, as a biracial Native as well, and just kind of always struggled with her identity and not being Indian enough, not looking Indian enough, but not being white enough, and this whole identity crisis that I think a lot of Natives have, as we are navigating kind of the climate we're in as well.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, were you surprised when I recognized a couple of your paintings there?
I was. Yeah, I get really inspired by old photographs, especially of Lakota relatives and elders and ancestors of the past. I really do. I love going to like the Library of Congress in DC. I love going to the National Archives and just looking through old photos of our people and just really looking at their expressions or what they were thinking, what they were wearing. And I get inspired and sometimes try to recreate my sort of portrait of like what I'm looking at and kind of recreating it in my way, in my interpretation. And I did one of, you mentioned Fool's Crow, and there was an elder, and I did sort of 2 renditions of him in this particular show, which I was like pretty humbled that you recognized it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I had to go because, I have a good memory, but it's short. I had to go talk to one of the Belcourts, Clyde's son, and get the name because I was like, oh, geez, I can't remember the name. But that's that Sometimers I'm getting now, Wendy.
Do you have where do you usually work? Do you have like an art studio, or do you have a special place that you?
Yeah, I have a studio in downtown Denver. I'm based in Denver. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I used to work out of my home, and then I kind of outgrew my space at home, and also just realized I'd like to have a separate like work-life balance in terms of being able to like stop and go back home, and instead of having it sort of all blur together. But there's pros and cons of it all. I do miss being able to just wake up at 2 a.m. if I have this great idea and, go and start painting from home. But at the same time, it's healthy to kind of have those breaks.
Oh, yeah,
it
definitely.
Is. And I know, like, for me, this is a hard one for me. How do you know a piece is finished? Like, how do you know it's done?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's just like a feeling, or I step back and look, and then I'm like, yep, this is it. Because sometimes I feel like if I keep noodling at it more and more, it ain't going to work out. So I think I've learned to just put a cap on it. And when I have that kind of gut feeling for myself, and that's it. Yeah.
Wow, that was a great question.
I have like a million questions.
Oh,
do you sketch things out first, or do you just go ahead with the paints?
When it comes to my studio practice and like the artwork, like for instance, the stuff that you'll see at All My Relations, that is much more of free form, free flow. I don't prepare anything. I just kind of go for it in the moment. When I'm doing murals or street art, it's much more calculated. There's a lot more math involved in planning and sketching and all of that. So it just really depends on kind of what projects I'm working on. But my studio work is much more free form, and which I like it that way because it's kind of my medicine, and I can just, there's no rules. I can just go at it in any way that I want, no planning or anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, great questions, Wen.
Well, because I paint. So
yes.
This is all the
takes one to know one, I guess.
I was like, do you feel this way?
Yeah. Hard to sell.
I know, like when sometimes when I'm painting, I'll have some music on, and I just get like lost in the piece, and I really like lose like literally like track of time. Like there was one night Robert came in, he knocked on my little art room, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm painting," and he was like, "It's 4:00 in the morning," and I'm like, "What?" But I kind of just like lose it all. Does that happen to you as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. For me, it's I listen to audiobooks or podcasts versus music. Although sometimes I'm in the mood for music too, but absolutely, I can totally get lost, lose track of time.
I know. I have another.
No,
question.
That's good.
Are there like a color palette that you prefer, or colors that you use over and over, or are you just like an open book as far as that goes?
Yeah, I love color. I'm a huge colorist. So in terms of when you ask the question about planning, sometimes it's not about the image or the composition or the subject that I'm painting. I'll just be out living my life and see colors in the world, and I get really inspired by pairings of colors. And then that will lead the next piece I'll do is the color palette. So, for instance, there's some colors where they're meh, standalone. They're not that exciting, but then when it gets paired next to another color or two, something magic happens in terms of like these palettes that are paired. So I love experimenting with colors. A lot of times colors that don't typically go together. I love bright colors. I love neon. You'll notice at this show, I have not only neon colored paintings, but also actual neon fabricated lights and pieces that I had done for the show as well. So I love lots of color. Color is really inspirational for me.
Well, first of all, I got to thank you, Danielle SeeWalker, coming on, and it's going to be a powerful exhibit at All My Relations Art starting April 10th. And I want to thank Wendy, too, for the great questions. I got to write those down in case you're not on the show. Those were good questions.
Thank you both. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So again, it's at 1414 East Franklin Avenue, Minneapolis. And it's going to be April 10th, and be there or be square. We'll be there.
Are there times? Or
Well, it'll
is
be
it
6
open?
to 8 on the opening. Thank you for that
Okay.
again.
6
And
p.m. to 8 p.m.
meet the artist, buy some prints, buy those paintings. I saw you had some neon art too that I was kind of looking over. That's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
I want to just say a big thank you, a big peeny gigi for being on our show.
Wopila.
Right
Appreciate
on.
it.
We'll see you. Well, that was really cool. When
I love asking artists about those questions because, like some people sketch first and some people, just like everybody has like their own kind of,
yeah.
what do you call it? Like their style,
Yeah.
Their own style. So it always, it's always good to like learn new things and get new ideas from different artists and say, oh, maybe I'll try that. Or I've never tried those colors before. Let me try those colors. Like I'm painting a picture right now of our house.
Yeah.
It's a springtime picture with our pollinator garden in the front. And I'm not happy with the colors that I picked for the flowers. So I think I'm going to just, I have new colors in my mind that I just want to go over and do it. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I got to say, great interview. And it'll be great to go out there for the exhibit, Wendy. And then, hey, up next, we're going to be talking to Wendy coming in and talking about our sacred animal updates. And we really have an ask. So we're really excited to talk about this. And I know you're really excited to talk about this one.
I am.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis invites you to experience Húŋkpapě Said So, a powerful new exhibition by Danielle SeeWalker rooted in Native storytelling, collective identity, and community. Join us for the opening reception Friday, April 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. Through bold portraits and vibrant color, this work reflects generational knowledge, teachings passed down, and the significance of grandmothers in Native culture, reminding us that sovereignty begins at home. Plan your visit today at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds from the Cheyenne and Arapaho nations, and Jim Demeny from the Ojibwe Nation. Additionally, film screens, cinema, and performances are shown on stage. And the Walker is free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first tickets for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. That's walkerart.org/cinema. See you at the movies.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Local artist Rosie Simas, Seneca Nation of Indians, Huron Clan, embodies Onondaga philosophies of peacemaking and relationality in new immersive installation. Visit Agay Jagwa Desnigowaweni. I hope it'll stir your mind and explore a space built for communal rest and contemplation. Simas presents a performance of the same name this May. Learn more about the exhibition and performance at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 21, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 45. Get your exquisite, elegant box of French macarons from Nicolette's Macarons in Plymouth. Nicolette's is conveniently located off Highway 169 and 36th Avenue. Stop in at the store or order your box online at nicolettesmacarons.com.
AM 950 KTN up, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Húŋkpapja.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Lakļóta. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, I want to introduce my awesome and beautiful wife. Wendy's been an animal advocate for many years, and she's a co-founder of Native Roots Radio. Welcome, Wendy. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we do. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level with them. However, I do other animal advocacy work not involved with them, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So if a lot of people have already heard about the Rigland Farms, it's R-I-G, I'm sorry, let me start over. Rigland, R-I-D-G-L-A-N Farms. This is in Wisconsin, in Blue Mounds, Wisconsin. And what this place is a breeding and experiment. They do experiments on dogs there. Particularly this place is beagles. So there's beagles there. Last month, I believe it was March 15th, a group of people, I think 100 or so, went there. And what they did was they rescued some dogs. And I believe they got 23 of these dogs out of this particular 23.
It says 30 on their website.
Oh, okay. Yes, they got 30 out. 8 of them were confiscated from the police.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 8 of them, they walked out with 30 dogs. The police were there and grabbed 8 of the dogs. So I want to just talk about this place first, Rigland Farm. So they've been there for many years, I think like 60 years, which sounds just so incredible. But so these dogs have been in this facility for that long, and they're bred over and over again. They're sold to other labs throughout the United States, and I'm not sure if they go overseas or not. I don't know. These dogs are also experimented on. So recently, well, I guess over some time now, this place, Rigland Farms, has acquired over 308 violations, and most of those violations are for animal cruelty. The veterinarian who worked for them has had his license suspended because of animal cruelty charges. And there is testimony from many of the Rigland Farms former employees who report that the dogs are kept in horrific conditions. They're kept in cages 4 by 2 feet. The cages are up off the floor, and the flooring of the cage is a gate. So the dogs that's what they're standing on. They're standing on the cage part of the cage. Their feces and urine fall through the gates and onto the floor. And these dogs are kept in this indoor facility 24/7, 365 days a year. They never see the outside. And these dogs, we have seen video of these dogs, spinning in circles, pacing back and forth. It's really horrific. Robert has the website up. Where did you find that? I know there is one. It's called SaveTheDogs, all one word, .io. And you could try that. That'll give you a lot of information about what's happening. That's what you're on right now. So SaveTheDogs.io, and you could see what's going on. So there's still 2,000 dogs left in this facility. And on April 19th, we're going back there, and we are going to try to get every single solitary dog out of this facility, and every single dog given a chance to live in a home, to lay on a soft bed, to be spoken to kindly, and to live a life that that our companion animals deserve. They don't deserve to be in this horrific place, locked up day in and day out, where the lights are just kept dim enough for the electric not to be too high, and the heat and the air conditioning just so they're not boiling or freezing. So yeah. So on April 17th, I'm leaving here to drive to Wisconsin because we're going to be trained, right? We're going to be trained. We're going to be given, we want to make sure we're going to be trained on how to do this peacefully, have empathy, compassion, and not to have violence at all. And we want to spread the word. And if you want to join us, we're still looking for people to join us. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you about some of the teams that are available in the next segment.
Yeah.
And I'll talk more about why I decided to do this, why it's important to me. And I'm going to ask you for an ask.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to put that out right now. How much time do we have left?
We got plenty of time.
Oh,
We
okay.
got 6 minutes.
Oh, okay, great. So I know I normally never ever ask for anything seriously, or any money or any help with anything. But and Robert and I are always the ones that give and help people out. But this time, this is a lot. So it's like lodging, food, gas, supplies for the dogs. We have to get potty pads, and we have to get slip leads, and just a bunch of stuff that we're going to need for this rescue. And I'm asking for contributions to help with that. So I do have a Venmo, and if anybody feels the need to, or feels they want to contribute, I mean, any amount is really what you want, whatever you can afford or whatever you want to do. My Venmo is at Wendy-Pilot. There's a picture of me and Wanda, little me and Wanda on my Venmo. So you'll know, me with the gray hair and tulips around us, and I'm holding Wanda. Yeah. So yeah, again, that's my Venmo at Wendy-Pilot. Any amount is not too small, and I really appreciate it. We are right now, what did the website say, Robert? We have over 1,700 people coming to this rescue. Everybody has different roles. This is really quite organized and very well thought out. I'll tell you a little bit more about how we're doing everything. And a lot of people will say, like, why are you putting this out to the world? Wouldn't you want to go in there and, nobody knows, and you could sneak in and do this? And that was my first thought. Wayne, he's the brains behind the whole thing here, and he thinks of it as a different way. He thinks that open rescue, and this is what this is called. It's called an open rescue. That means that it's it's open. Everybody knows about it. Governor Evers knows about it in Wisconsin, which I didn't have a chance to write him a note today. I'm going to email him. And the city council members in Wisconsin know about this. Who else knows? Oh, the sheriff. The sheriff knows about this. They know that we're coming in on April 19th. They know we have a plan to get the rest of the dogs out. And we want them to know, like, we want the publicity. This has been on the Fox 6 News Milwaukee and other news stations in Wisconsin, throughout Wisconsin. And I mean, anybody who has a companion animal, I think, can sit there and look at this companion animal and say, you know, I would not want my dog in this type of facility and to be, you know, really tortured their whole life.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, Wendy, I want to ask you too, and I noticed too that WPR in Wisconsin, you know, that's our NPR, and People Magazine, New York Post, Page 6, all these people are covering this and have covered this. You know, it's 2026 and we don't need to treat our sacred relatives like this. There's other ways to test these things, and it's just ridiculous that this is still happening. And looking at the website too, there's been so many over the years violations.
Yes, they have 308 violations, and most of them are due to animal cruelty violations. So that goes. Oh, and this is the main thing. I'm very emotional about this, so I'm kind of all over the place, and I didn't write any notes down, so I'm sorry. This place is due to shut down on July 1st because of all these horrific violations that they have. We want them to surrender the dogs to humane shelters where the dogs can go and live happy lives. That's what we want Rigland Farms to do. We don't want them to sell these dogs. Their heads are worth about $1,000 each. So they could sell these dogs to other labs throughout the United States. Again, I don't know if these dogs would ever go overseas, but these dogs are worth $1,000 each. You could see their sweet little faces if you go on savethedogs.io. And if you want, you could sign up. You could sign up and help us. You could do as little or as much as you want. We want to be there on Friday the 17th for training, and Saturday for training, and then Sunday is the day, April 19th, that we go in.
Yeah, like you said, there's
and get the dogs.
311 violations, 1,000 plus complaints. It's, you know, let's get these relatives out in a good way so they can live. And, you know, Wendy, we've had rescue dogs.
I'm going to talk about that on the next segment, but go ahead. What do you do?
No, I was just going to say, we have rescue dogs, and, you know, they still have a soul. They're still, you know, viable humans. You know, they're viable beings.
I know. And if anybody wants to Facebook me friend me on Facebook and look at my post about this, it's Wendy Burtis Pilot. It's BURTIS, Wendy Burtis Pilot. You can just put me a note that you interested in seeing about the Rigland dogs, and I'll friend you, and you could go on my post and go that way too. But we'll be back, and we're going to talk more about this.
Yeah, and we'll get your Venmo on Native Roots Radio all over. So
thanks.
All right. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be back with Wendy Pilot in our Sacred Ask.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds from the Cheyenne and Arapaho nations, and Jim Demeny from the Ojibwe Nation. Additionally, film screens, cinema, and performances are shown on stage. And the Walker is free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We're here with our co-host, Wendy Pilot, and we're talking about, an action that Wendy's going to be doing, and I know people out there that can, please donate to your Venmo. And what's your Venmo again? Because this is going to be a 4-day training and hotels and food and gas.
And supplies for the dogs, too.
Yes.
We need slip leads and potty pads and all kinds of things. So, yes, at Wendy-Pilot. And there's a picture with me kind of squatting down in the tulips with my little dog, Wanda. So, yes, this is on Rigland Farms. It's RIDGLAN Farms. It's a beagle breeding facility where they do experiments on the dogs there and breed the dogs over and over again. And they have 311, you said, on the website. I thought it was 308. But anyway, it's more than 5 violations. Most of them are for animal cruelty charges. And there's 2,000 dogs still left in the facility who are living in horrific circumstances, and we're going in to get the rest of the dogs out. Now, if you go to savethedogs.io, you could register to help us. You could come there and help us. And there's different teams. So there's the green team, the yellow team, and the red team. So the green team are people who we really need to just stand around on the outside and the perimeter of the building, and have signs and sing songs and just, bring awareness of what's going on. And that's what you do. And that's what we need. The yellow team are a group of people who are going to help the red team get the dogs to where they need to go. Kind of like a security person, right? So somebody will have the dogs in their arms. They'll run, try to get them in the van and get out of there as soon as possible. And the yellow team help the red team get the dogs there safely. The red team are the people who are actually going into the building, holding the dogs, carrying the dogs out. And those people have a higher chance of possible arrest as far as like burglary and theft. The yellow team also could possibly have lesser charges if they do get arrested. But I don't know, I was on this Zoom call with my group. I am on the red team. I'm going in, I'm getting the dogs I'll climb through the window. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to get the dogs. I'm going to cry. But anyway, so I was on the Zoom call and with my team, and there's 13 of us. So we have all small teams, which is really good. So we get to really know the people on your team and you work together and we're all going to get trained together. And we were all going around kind of talking about, what inspires you to do this, or why would you take the chance of getting arrested, or why would you want to do this? And I just thought about our little dog, Gracie, right?
Yeah.
So Gracie was a little white Maltese, and we adopted her, and she was a puppy mill breeder dog her whole life. So she was kept in an indoor facility for 7 years, and she was bred over and over again. And finally, at the end, where she couldn't have any more puppies, they auctioned her off for I think $35 or whatever. But anyway, we ended up with Gracie, and she was like a shell of a dog when we got her. And she never walked on grass. She never saw the sky. She was the only dog who would sit outside and look at the sky, because she was kept in an indoor facility her life. And
she walked over leaves.
I know.
She walked through puddles.
So when I think about doing this, I just think I just wish somebody would have went in and rescued her, Yeah. And that she didn't have to spend 7 years there.
Yeah.
And I just wish that she could have gotten out sooner. So for me personally, going in and getting a dog out, even just one dog. I hopefully be able to get one dog, put it where it needs to be, in the van or whatever, and go back and get another dog and maybe get a couple. But even if I just get one dog and I go to jail, I don't know. I just feel like it's worth their life. It's worth their, just their soul, and there's 1,700 people now. I don't know, 1,700 people who are going to do this. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll find out this week on our next Zoom, how many are on each team. So I don't know really how many are on the green team, yellow team, and red team. And I guess it really doesn't matter. I just hope we have enough people on the red team to get as many dogs out as possible. Because that is our goal.
Yeah.
Really, our goal is to bring so much awareness about this, and for people to call Governor Evers and email him and call the sheriff, the Dane County Sheriff's Department, and tell them how sickened you are about this, that they are able to talk to the people at Rigland Farms and convince them to surrender these dogs to humane shelters who will take care of these dogs, and not wait till July 1st, and not to sell their bodies and their souls to other labs where they will continue to have their bodies just tortured for the rest of their lives. So anyway, that's what it is. I'm sorry for getting upset, but it's
I know you've been working out and picking up the bird seed and running it around the block.
So yesterday, Robert, so they say that the dogs are anywhere between 20 and 35 pounds. So Robert went to the store yesterday to get supplies like bird seed, peanuts, all the stuff that we use to feed our little critters outside. So the seeds were 20 pounds and a bag of the peanuts was 5 pounds. So I had a bag of seeds and a bag of peanuts, and I was walking around the backyard with it, and that was 25 pounds. And I was just okay, this is how a 25-pound beagle will feel. Let me jog around with it. And yeah, I've been working out. I've been lifting my weights, and I've been doing all your
little rope
things because I have a weightless battle ropes. Ropeless battle ropes, and they're really quite a workout. So I'm trying to do that. I just want to be strong enough to be able to carry the dogs out, doing balance exercises. So I'm, less likely to fall. And so what I want to say also is, again, my Venmo is at Wendy-Pilot. I'll use whatever money I need for the supplies and stuff. And if there's anything left over, there's 1,700 other people, and I'm sure there's people who need help also with lodging and food and, gas and, whatever. This is like a really big effort. And a lot of people I know who are doing this are also asking, right? So we're just asking, let's get this done, and let's get these dogs out and into homes. There's also on this website, there's forms that you could fill out if you're interested in adopting or fostering these dogs also. Just know that these dogs are coming from a place where they're not going to be your normal dog, right? They're going to need a little bit of patience. And that's what we did with Gracie when we got her. She was a shell of a dog, and it didn't really take her very long to come out and just be the sweetest little dog you'd ever want to know. She was just so cuddly and loving, and that's the life she should have led her whole life.
Yeah, Venmo whenever you can to Wendy -pilot, Venmo her some money to help her in this journey and help these dogs, get these dogs out. And we'll talk again this week, Wendy, but I appreciate you bringing this up and all the work you do. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll see you tomorrow.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots